This week, I'm here with Dan Gartenberg, a.k.a. Dr. Snooze.
It's me.
Dr. Snooze. Where'd Dr. Snooze come from? Name.
Dr. Snooze, I did this thing called TED residency, and I was giving a talk on sleep, and they just started calling me Dr. Snooze, and it stuck. It was like a joke.
Oh, like the people behind the scenes were calling you Dr. Snooze.
Yeah. It was this thing I did, TED residency. It was like a 3-month program, and you give a TED talk at the end.
How do you get into the residency?
It does not exist anymore. It was a great program. You apply, and they take like a hodgepodge of people that would give a TED talk.
Noted. Is it teaching people how to public speak?
Yeah. It's like a public speaking
Got it. So that's how you got involved with it.
That's how I got the name Dr. Snooze. I got involved in sleep much.
No, that's how you got into the TED talk.
Oh yeah, that's how I got it.
Because you wanted to get better at public speaking.
I wanted to get exposure for my company.
Got it.
Really. Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
So where did it all begin? Let's talk about you. Did you have sleep problems? Were you always interested in narcolepsy? Were you or not even? Would it be interested in narcolepsy or the opposite?
Yeah, insomnia.
Insomnia.
Narcolepsy is much more of a rare issue. That's like when you randomly fall asleep in places.
Yeah, my brother has narcolepsy.
Are you serious?
Self-imposed.
Okay. Yeah, this is more like not from being tired, just like randomly you fall asleep. But actually, there's narcolepsy without cataplexy, where you don't have that symptom and you can still have narcolepsy, actually. But that's a more rare issue. I got into this in high school, actually, and we go back since high school.
You were interested in sleep science, the science of sleep, in high school.
Well, I had a personal issue, which you may have had as well. A lot of kids have it. About 30% of the population of teenagers has something called delayed sleep phase syndrome. And so I would stay out late with our good friend Brian Tubman, partying till like 3 a.m. on a Saturday or a Friday. And then I'd have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to catch my bus. I remember being dark out at the bus stop still. And that causes a dysregulation in your circadian rhythm, and it makes it very difficult to fall asleep on Monday. And it's like sort of a type of insomnia that a lot of teenagers have if you go out late on the weekends and then you're expected to wake up early for school. Teenagers also naturally have a night owl chronotype, which is like your internal biology of if you should wake up early or go to bed early. And so you actually naturally get pushed to be a night owl as a teenager. It's thought because of the evolutionary biology of trying to break away from your parents, sort of. Like you want to have your own independence. So your sleep actually drives you towards this by becoming a night owl.
So social media nowadays probably amplifies that on another level.
So that's probably why we're sleeping worse than we have ever. Before. Yeah. Because it's a combination. I think of it as, I work with one of the researchers that did some of the good science out there on how screens affect our sleep. Her name's Anne-Marie Chang at the Penn State University. She showed that blue light in particular from the devices. So you have these photoreceptors in your eyes. They respond to light, and they can even detect different types of light. And blue light in particular sends a cue to inhibit melatonin, actually to wake you up. That's the process by which you wake up in the morning. So the blue light from the devices in particular is basically giving you an inhibition of melatonin at the wrong time. You should be producing more melatonin before bed.
And what are things that you could do to produce more melatonin?
Well, I mean, you could take a melatonin.
Right. What about naturally? Because I'm assuming naturally it's got to be something that you build up to.
Yeah.
Like at X time, and we talk about setting your mind and setting the whole rhythm, the circadian rhythm, where your body's used to doing X, but you're doing Y, so it's throwing it off. So getting it into more of a motion where every night at X time, you're starting to wind down.
Yeah, so I mean, you're like doing like the sleep hygiene thing, which a lot of people know. Like, go to bed at the same time every night. Don't, drink a lot of alcohol or take a lot of cannabis right before you go to bed.
Don't take cannabis before bed.
Not right before bed.
Take cannabis. How old are we? We just said take cannabis.
That's not the cool way of saying it.
No,
anymore,
take cannabis.
Take the reefer.
Take the if you have a CBD gummy, is that taking cannabis?
No. So I would say that if it's not psychoactive, it's a totally different story. So I'm a fan. So just to backtrack for a second, not a huge fan of melatonin. For a couple reasons, and to answer your question directly, probably the best way to get that melatonin at the right time is what like Uberman and a lot of these biohackers say, get sunlight during the day. Be active during the day. By getting that natural sunlight during the day, that's your biggest cue for your internal biology to then be tired at the right time at night. So, 30 minutes of sunlight before noon. You could also get a happy lamp, which I used to use more. I should use it more.
Is that one of those sunlight lamps?
Yeah.
My brother-in-law had one of those and he swore by it.
Yeah, there's something to that. So, actually what we do a lot during the day impacts, our chronobiology and how we're tired at nighttime. The reason why I'm not a huge fan of melatonin, there could be certain use cases where it makes sense.
Well, is that you're saying you're not a big fan of melatonin or sleep aids in general?
I can get behind other sleep aids more so than melatonin for a couple reasons. I actually think that the best solution is a combination of behavior change with a supplement.
Okay, so you are saying a supplement,
yeah.
So give me an example. Like, how do you feel about someone taking a sip of NyQuil?
Yeah, that would be bad, right?
That would be bad.
Yeah. So anything that's gonna sort of knock you out will give you say I put that in a similar category as alcohol, and a lot of the benzos do this too. Like Ambien does this as well.
I think the NyQuil has benzo in it.
No, yeah, it is like a benzo.
Yeah,
it's knocking you out. Yeah. So that'll always give you
benzo. I don't know technical terms. What do you mean?
Like a benzodiazepine type of drug.
When you say like a benzo, it's like you're talking to me as if I have any clue what you're talking about.
Hey, a benzo over here. No. A Benny, as they say. No. They have also like non-benzo benzos, and I'm not a
it's kind of like if it's got benzo in it, it's the good stuff.
No, you don't want the benzo.
Right, but I'm saying, it's got the benzo in it. That's the good stuff. It'll knock you out.
Yeah, right. But you perceive it. You perceive being knocked out, but it hurts your sleep quality.
Really? So
that's the main issue. That's also sort of the
helps
issue
your sleep
with
quality within time or that specific night?
No, it hurts your sleep quality that night.
Got it.
So you'll perceive being tired. So you'll perceive that you fell asleep right away, for example, but you'll get like way less deep sleep, for example. And it's a similar thing with cannabis, which obviously we like to imbibe in the cannabis sometimes. You and I.
I don't smoke.
No.
No.
You stopped.
I stopped. I could probably count on one hand, probably less than 2 full hands, the amount I smoked this year.
Okay, yeah. I slowed down a lot too with the kid.
I had to pull back.
Yeah. It was with the kid. It's
the 2 biggest side effects I was having was uncontrollable hunger.
Yeah.
And stupidity.
That can happen too. Yeah.
And I just remember a few months ago, I had gotten this THC drink from a store that a buddy's friend opened. We went there when he just opened the store. We went to see it. They started smoking a J. I don't smoke, especially middle of the day, if anything.
Yeah.
I like to be 100% on point.
Right.
But I wanted to support the business.
Right.
So I was like, what are those? You have juices. I'll take a strawberry guava.
Oh, you didn't know?
She's like, that's $47. Like,
then you know.
$47 for a juice? Yeah, there's 200 milligrams of THC.
That'll get you.
I was like, I'll get it. And she's like, all right, you drink this much. Like, you drink a little bit. So I got it. I sipped it a little bit. But then when I got home that night, I took maybe like a full shot. and we're watching Wheel of Fortune, and I'm screaming out what I thought the puzzle was. It was so off. And I thought about what I was saying and what the actual puzzle was, and I just felt so dumb. Like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like. I mean, it was just me and my wife there, so like I wasn't like embarrassed. It was funny, but like I don't like how dumb I am right now. And then I couldn't stop eating. I was like, this is why I don't like to smoke.
Yeah. I mean, so personally, I'll do it after work sometimes, you know? But if you are going to do it like right before bed, which some people
You're saying don't do it before bed.
Don't do it like right before bed. Like, you know, sometimes when I'm done with my work day, it's my personal way to relax a little bit. You know, some people drink a glass of wine. I'll take a couple puffs sometimes. I think it's really not that bad in that sort of way of doing it.
Dude, it's not bad at all. It's medicine.
But,
right?
Well, it definitely helps with my anxiety. I would rather do that than like an SSRI. And not that I have depression or anything. But, yeah, it's just like my way of relaxing, basically. But if you do it right before bed, it can inhibit your REM sleep. So that's the other reason why I wouldn't do something psychoactive like right before I go to bed. Now, if I wanted to talk about supplements, I'm on this train, CBD, CBN, and GABA, L-theanine, and there's a concoction that I've been using called mdbiowellness.com, and so that's like what we've been playing around with. They actually have the largest non-melatonin randomized double-blind trial showing that it works. So,
it's a cocktail?
No, it's just 2 pills.
Oh.
Yeah.
How's it available? Where's it available?
You can get it at mdbiowellness.com.
Oh, got it. You got to order it. You can't, like, go buy it somewhere.
No, yeah, it's like a direct-to-consumer website thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to share a link.
No, yeah.
I'd love to try it myself, because I do. It's not that I, like, need the sleep assistance, but I like it.
So GABA is the most common inhibitory neurotransmitter. So it's like a naturally occurring neurotransmitter. And so it helps with like the racing mind kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then like the CBD, CBN is just like that relaxing kind of feel.
God, that's why it's kind of like a perfect cocktail.
Yeah. It's like a perfect cocktail in one, and it's non-sugar, like it has like it doesn't have any bad stuff in it.
Cool. And listen, if Dr. Snooze is recommending it, I'd give it a shot.
It has some good science behind it. But the real thing, if you have sleep problems, the real thing that you should do is something called cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, which is what I study. And so what that is a fancy way of saying is it's addressing your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors when it comes to sleep. And that's if you're dealing with something like insomnia. But I also got into this because, recently I actually diagnosed myself with sleep apnea, which is also very common.
Personal diagnosis.
Yeah, well, I diagnosed myself and then I got a doctor to diagnose me. So it's a personal and a professional diagnosis.
He's like, you have, what's it called?
Sleep apnea.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually easy to...
Yeah, that's an easy one.
That's an easy one.
But it's very common.
Like, I fucking knew it. I called it.
I mean, you can get these direct-to-consumer products now. Like, anyone can easily test themselves. You don't need to be a rocket science to be able to say, like, this is red, this is yellow. And so the one that I use to test myself, you can get it for like $70. It's called Wesper.co.
Is it like a one-time thing, or you use it, then your wife can use it, then I can use it, my wife can use it?
So only one. I actually did try to. I actually work with this company as well. I also work with the MD Bio folks, in full disclosure. But the Wesper.co thing, it's $70 a month. You're not allowed to give it to... I actually tried to do that for my father-in-law, and it didn't really work. But so you have to... It's only for one person.
Got it.
But you can test multiple times, which is useful, over a 30-day period.
And where do you find this?
Just Wesper.co. You can just buy it for like
Spell
$70. Wesper.
Wesper.co.
Yeah. If you do sleepspace.com and then space Wesper, I have a whole tutorial on how I used it to diagnose my sleep apnea.
Oh, very cool.
And then there's actually a 10% off discount there too. And
I feel like for $60, $70, it's like a no-brainer.
no, yeah,
Why wouldn't someone want to do that? Like just
everyone
just
should do it. I
for-
mean,
just to see how your sleep is, and like,
here's the thing. I think the big reason is people think sleep apnea, and they think of a fat person using a CPAP. I don't know if you think of it like
is that like the mask that comes over
yeah,
their face?
that's the main treatment. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
that I have a overweight friend who used to have one of those.
Okay, yeah.
No,
Do I know them?
We went we went on a fishing trip, and my buddy
yeah,
had this
yeah.
thing. I'm like, what is that?
Sure.
He's like, I got sleep apnea.
Yeah, right. So that's the main treatment. That's the most effective gold standard treatment. But if you have mild to moderate apnea, which is what I had, so basically, just to give you a quick synopsis of apnea, about 10% of the adult population has sleep apnea, maybe more like 15. But I would say about 50% of the population has what I call suboptimal breathing, which is probably the number one cause of not getting deep sleep at night. So the actual definition of sleep apnea is if you have 5 or more instances of not breathing an hour while you sleep. So mild is 5 to 15 an hour, moderate is 15 to 30 an hour, and severe is 30 or more an hour.
You got to get past 15 in an hour to get to severe.
You have to get past 30 an hour to get to moderate is 5 to 15. Sorry, no, yeah, is 15 to 30. Sorry.
10 sounds like a lot.
Yeah, 10 is that's the thing. That's the thing. So I was like in 10.
Yeah.
Also, you don't want to be at 3.
Yeah.
So that's what I call suboptimal breathing. Is you're not more than 5, but you're in the 2 to 4 range, which is not healthy. You don't want to not be breathing 2 to 4 times an hour.
Do you ever wear nasal strips?
So that's where that's not a proven treatment for. There's 3 main scientifically.
I don't know of it
treatments.
of being a
nasal
treatment.
strips could help.
That's just my instinctive
Yeah, I mean it could help
idea
a little bit.
as to how we could, maybe help
Yeah.
the breathing.
So one of the
Nasal
things
strips.
is, so it's not really. I mean, a nasal blockage could make it worse, but it's more your soft palate being not having the right muscles here, and it's just blocking your airway
so
right here.
sleep apnea people have it coming from the throat versus
Yeah.
the nose, whereas for me, I'm thinking of my breathing from my nose that will affect my sleep.
No, yeah, so that it can be an additive thing there. Obviously, rule out deviated septum. One thing I ruled out was I'm highly allergic to dust mites, and I had an ENT measure that recently, and so we just got this special. And in New York, they're rampant, the dust mites. So we just got this special bedding that blocks them out, sort of. That could be a cause of the. You might be allergic to something in your bed. That's just
Good. I'll look into it.
But a lot of people are allergic to dust mites. But anyway, the 3 main treatments
Would a consistent Swiffering
you're
help
not
with
going to
that?
get 'em. I mean, it might help a little bit, but you're not going to get them. You got to put a you can just Google bedding for dust mites, and just an extra layer on top of our sheet.
Cool.
So it goes the dust mite sheet, our sheet, and then also the pillows.
Definitely not just a marketing thing.
No, my ENT recommended it to me, actually.
Did he then give you an affiliate link?
He probably did. No, it's a real thing. It blocks out the dust mites.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
All right.
I haven't really looked at the
I'll try
scientific
anything
literature in
once.
depth, but I kind of took it on its face value. But the 3 main treatments are CPAP, mandibular advancement device, which is basically a mouth guard. Not the Joe Rogan mouth guard that I think it might be AI generated, the one that I see the commercials for. It might not be real.
It's got to be AI generated.
But it's a special mouth guard that your dentist has to make for you. You cannot just buy this off of some direct-to-consumer thing. But they basically fit your mouth in a specific way such that it pushes out the bottom of your jaw. And that opens your airway. The third thing is an implant, and you're like a cyborg. It's called Inspire.
Huh. What do you prefer?
So I use the MAD.
Is it
I wouldn't even qualify for Inspire because that's only for like severe.
noted?
Yeah. Because I was moderate. I was mild, I mean.
Where this all began? I understand that you had sleep problems as a kid, but when did you go the direction of education towards being Dr. Snooze?
That's a good, yeah. So it's a long story. It started when I was a kid. I had a personal interest. I was always inventing stuff as a kid as well. And then in college, I was one of the first, I took a neuroscience of sleep course, and I was sort of, I saw it was a combination of like AI, psychology, like meaning of meaning stuff. So it's like up my alley. Like sleep is how we construct our realities through dreams. So I took this class and I learned something about sleep called the synaptic homeostasis hypothesis. Say that 3 times fast.
It sounds psychedelic.
It kind of is. Synaptic homeostasis hypothesis is a theory presented by Chiara Cocelli and Giuliana Tononi at the University of Wisconsin that basically proposes one of the main reasons why we sleep. There's kind of like 5 main reasons why we sleep, but one of them is processing the world around us. And in sleep, in deep sleep, the idea is you downregulate all this activations that happen during the day, such that the relevant things to our survival rise to the top. Because you don't want to, have to remember this mundane task of making my coffee necessarily, but you do want to remember, like, someone said something about me in the office that could cost me my job. Like, you want to, take in the information that's relevant to your survival. So in deep sleep, you're down-regulating all of the information, and then in REM sleep, you're replaying what was down-regulated and integrating it into your long-term memory and personality. And I was just captivated by the idea, if you could improve a third of our lives by just a small amount, it would be huge. And, a lot of people are trying to do this, but I was one of the first apps on the App Store trying to do it in 2010, and then I just sort of fell on a rabbit hole in this whole journey.
What was the app?
It was called Proactive Sleep. Now my app is obviously Sleep Space. We rebranded it, but it's gone through many iterations. It was Proactive Sleep.
What was the product of Proactive Sleep?
It was like an alarm clock that used something called it was a simple game that you played in the morning, and then I tried to figure out the right time to wake you up so you're less groggy in the morning within like a 30-minute window.
So you set it for, let's say, 7:15.
Yeah.
And based on your ability to do the puzzle at 7:15, it then says, let's try 7:11.
Yeah.
Let's try 7:18.
Yeah.
And within a week.
That's the idea.
How'd that go?
Yeah. So I have a patent around that, actually. I just had to pay a maintenance fee on it recently.
What's the maintenance fee on a patent?
So I think I recently had to pay like $3,500 for another 8 years.
How many patents do you have?
Like 5.
I had a client who, I don't know why, I tell my guys, like, look people up, know who you're working with.
Uh-huh.
I didn't look my client up on LinkedIn until like yesterday after closing. Works at Google. He's been there since 2009. Look, he's got 14 patents. Like, what? How do you have 14 patents? 5's a lot, right?
It's a fair amount, but I mean, I sometimes question if it's even worthwhile. But, I mean, honestly, sometimes I think my data might be more valuable than some of the data I have might be more valuable than the patents. But some of the patents, you want it to be clear when someone else is using it. So that way it's enforceable.
Noted. You never want to have to enforce it. What are you saving it for?
Theoretically, I would use it to increase the value of my company for an investor, say, or for a sale or something like that. But really, like if it, I'm supposed to be able to get a monopoly on a product, but in order for that to work, really, the product should be making millions of dollars. You know what I mean? So ideally, I'd have a patent that makes it so no one else can make this product, and that there's no workaround that could easily make the product maybe similar but another way. So, I'll be honest, I have patents, I have a product, but I don't, and they do go together, but I haven't had that product market fit really to make it take off.
So I know we've spoken about other inventions that you've made around the sleep space. There was the one that goes right onto your mattress.
Yeah.
And through your phone, it measures your sleep.
Right.
Which inventions have you seen which inventions have you seen have had the most legs?
Yeah, so my current app, Sleep Space, has multiple ways of tracking. You don't need a wearable, or it works with a wearable. It also integrates with an Apple Watch or an Oura Ring or whatever. But I found that a lot of people don't want to just track sleep for the sake of tracking sleep. There's been so many devices. Some of them will make it out and get a big splash like Oura or Whoop. They made it out. But what's the point of just tracking your sleep? I want to improve sleep quality. And the way that I see you doing that naturally is with sound, light, and temperature. So I basically have all of those now in my system. So I created something called a sleep journey within Sleep Space. It does the same smart alarm clock stuff that I was talking about earlier, but also has like a wind down, dynamic pink noise. And when I say dynamic, what is tricky and what has actually a fair bit of value, I think, in my company is I have a real-time sleep detection algorithm. So what I mean by that is, like Oura Whoop, they'll measure your sleep after it's happened. Like in the morning, they'll run their process on it. I'm measuring sleep every 30 seconds and actually adjusting sound based on the physiological data that I'm getting into my system. And I'll do that with lights, so I'll ramp up lights dynamically. I'll play 528 hertz alarm clock dynamically to wake you up at the right time. And I'll actually block out noise pollution more effectively using this strategy. And then I have this deep sleep stimulation sound that I play as well that might increase that I have some evidence that increases deep sleep.
And this all is based on needing to have your phone right next to you.
So it can work.
That's where my issue lies.
Yeah.
I sleep with my phone in the other room.
Yeah, so this is a great point. It's probably my biggest issue, and it's a legitimate problem. Ariana Huffington, who I've pitched to a couple times, literally made a bed for her phone so she could sleep with the phone away from her, like outside of the bedroom. And she has you can Google it, it's like a sleep bed for her phone.
What?
Because the phone is the source of a lot of issues, not just the blue light.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue
the energy
is it's just like the feel of it's associated with work. The addictive dopaminergic.
Yeah.
Like Instagram feed.
I sleep with my phone out of the bedroom.
Yeah.
And I've done that for many years.
So that's why my system works. I have a couple form factors. One is this little phone charger that you can put at the base of your bed so it's at least out of reach. And a crucial aspect is that it works completely offline. So you can put your phone offline and the tracking and stuff will still work.
Oh, that's fantastic. That would be the only way that I would be able to do it.
And people are worried about EMF and stuff too, like some of these biohackers out there. But
I've thought about getting an Oura Ring and yada yada because I really do want to track. But I want to track my stuff for a reason.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What's the point of just tracking aimlessly?
Yeah, because people do it because it's a game.
No, yeah, or it seems cool.
Yeah, hey, get Strava. I respect the company. Strava. My buddy wants to compare miles that we're running. He's in Austin or
right.
Houston, wherever he is.
Yeah.
I'm in New York. I don't care.
Yeah.
But people care, and it's great. It's a game.
Yeah.
But the people who count steps, they want to make sure that they're getting
there's only 10% of the
steps.
population that really care about that.
Probably less.
Yeah.
Probably less.
I think a lot of people wear these, Oura Ring made it out. I think largely because if you can get a couple of famous people to wear it, it's almost like it becomes like a status thing. Like, oh, I have this cool ring that tracks my sleep, and then like you talk about it.
Well, it's not just sleep. It tracks. I don't know. You tell me. What does it track?
It tracks a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing a lot of cool. I mean, I was one of the first Oura users.
Yeah.
I validated their Gen 1 ring, that big bulky thing, and I published a paper about it. Big fan of Oura, and my system integrates with Oura. But I just want to go beyond the tracking and do something more. But with the thing with the phone, my new thought is I think that, so one of my main insights is that the phone is actually the most sophisticated sensor in the world. The accelerometer in the phone, the motion tracker, is more accurate than any accelerometer in a wearable.
Right.
They have 2 accelerometers in every phone, so it's super sensitive. So what my algorithm is doing is I'm using that technology, connecting it with a bed, and I'm picking up on these subtle micro motions through the mattress in order to precisely play sounds on your side of the bed. Now, if you really wanted to take it to a next level, I could, if someone this isn't on the market yet, but if someone emailed me and wanted it, I can deliver it to them. I have a system where I give you a brick phone. So it's not your phone. It's
like a dummy phone.
It's an iPhone.
A burner.
It's a burner. I can get a burner at a pretty good price when I pay in bulk, and you can have it unlocked all the time then, which means I could voice activate it. So you can be like, hey Siri, I'm going to bed, and the whole thing starts, your lights turn red, the sounds play, you get your alarm clock in the morning, and you don't have social media on it. This is your burner. This is your health phone. I actually call it the sleep health phone. So that's my solution to your problem that I'm working on.
Sounds like a Tesla product.
That would be great.
It sounds like it could be a Dr. Snooze Tesla product in the future.
This is the premium sleep experience. And the other one that I'm working on is a changing temperature on either side of the bed, and I have a solution for that too.
Doesn't 8 Sleep do that?
So it's basically like 8 Sleep, but it's an air-based solution. So I work with this company. I was just talking to the CEO before I got here. That's who I was talking to. It's called perfectlysnug.com. The thing with 8 is you have to fill up this jug of like a humidifier essentially every couple nights. And it's like sleeping on a cold slab. Like all the temperature, like if you touch something that is running cold water through it, what you're touching is cold. Like where you're touching it, it's cold, but like then there's a different temperature on the top of your hand. So this is air-based, so it's dissipating the temperature. It's going all around your body. So actually you'll put a sheet on it, and the sheet will lift up because air is shooting through it. There's these fans. It's just a topper that you put on. No water, no maintenance. Your wife can get one temperature. I can get another temperature. It's pretty cool.
Now, in your time of inventing, when you became Dr. Snooze, was there a time when you ever thought, like, maybe I should go do something else?
Oh, yeah. That's a constant struggle, yeah. And I don't recommend entrepreneurship to a lot of people, honestly. Like, it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
So lots of ups and downs. I had some big ups at one point. I'm sort of in a little bit of a slog period right now. But, But you understand that life is ebbs and flows. And looking at things, do you feel like we're young, or do you feel like we're like kind of old at this point? I mean, I feel like I aged a lot in the past year because of certain things that happened to me. But we're happened for you. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I guess. But what are we? We're young, middle-aged. Are we middle-aged? Yeah. What? Are we? I think the technical threshold is 35. Is for middle-aged? Isn't it? I don't know. But if it is, then we're young middle-aged. I mean, I study this to some degree because when I run my studies... Yeah, this is something that you should definitely know. Yeah, I think middle age is technically like 35 to 55. God, is that when sleep gets worse? I mean, usually, 70% of people with chronic insomnia, first off, there's periodic insomnia and chronic insomnia. About 30 million people have chronic and 68 million have periodic and 32 million have chronic. Of those people that have chronic, 70% of them are 65 years or older. So it's a largely older person. Like when you really can't fall asleep all the time. It's one thing if like you have a night here and there. Almost everyone can relate to that. Something stressful. But it's an older issue, insomnia at least. Sorry, I lost my. What was the question?
I don't know. No, we were talking about us being lower middle age, and
yeah. So I mainly study
that
older
being
people.
an age where sleep gets kind of worse.
Yeah, so it usually gets worse around like 55-ish, due to a lot of reasons like more inactivity. Sometimes you're on multiple drugs at that point, which can affect things. For women, it's menopause. That's like a menopause insomnia as a whole. And actually the hot flashes can be helped with like the something like the snug topper.
Noted. Are there any scientists who you kind of look up to? Like, is there anyone who's you might have a poster of in your apartment?
Well, I mean, I have two main mentors. One is Orfeo Buxton at Penn State, who I get these grants with, or I've gotten a couple grants with him. And the other one, he's more of like a hardcore scientist guy, biobehavioral health. The other one is more therapist-y. This guy, Daniel Terra at the University of Arizona. Obviously, there's Matt Walker, who's the most famous sleep scientist.
Wait, there's a doctor over at U of A?
Yeah. University of Arizona actually has a very good sleep program.
Say it again?
University of Arizona actually has a very good sleep program.
Love that.
You can go there.
Bear down.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't know
Tucson's
that.
a great city.
Oh, yeah. They have Michael Grandner's there, too, who's a very good researcher I've collaborated with. He studies the link between apnea and cardiovascular disease and stuff like this.
Noted. Right now, what do the next 6 months look like for you? Going from winter to summer, what are we doing?
Well, I just did a soft launch of this product. I'm getting more. I'm writing some grants right now on some really cool technology that could increase deep sleep by as much as 50%. That's something I'm working on.
When you say you run a launch, are you trying to sell product?
Yeah, I mean, we did a Kickstarter on this product. It's basically a smart sheet that would go over the perfectly snug topper, and it could include that burner phone.
When you do a Kickstarter, how are you pushing it out?
That's my problem. I didn't really do it the correct way.
First time doing Kickstarter?
Yeah, and I'm like a small shop, so...
you should ask ChatGPT the best way to go about doing it the next time.
Yeah, I've talked to someone who's done a bunch of them after I launched it, actually. I think I should have done more of a pre-launch campaign. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think it's a little saturated, too.
Kickstarter.
Yeah. I don't know.
What is not saturated?
Yeah,
we're doing a podcast right now.
It's hard. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's very.
Talk about saturation.
Yeah. It's basically the direct-to-consumer model is almost impossible unless you have an extremely high margin on your product. And I work with a lot of companies.
Like makeup.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know the margins on makeup.
Massive.
Okay.
$4 lipstick, charge like $40.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Crazy.
Like you can maybe make it with stuff like that. But otherwise, I look for basically B2B2C sales. Mm-hmm. So some kind of large distribution partner that pushes my software is one of my main strategies.
Noted.
Yeah.
Love that. Is there any way to have a conversation with like an Airbnb?
I've tried to do hotels.
Yeah.
I've done something with Marriott before. Airbnb would be interesting. What would that look like? You're saying like anyone who gets an Airbnb gets a free sleep app?
No, it would be like finding super users or super renters and getting your product into their space.
Yeah. I have sort of looked at it a little bit.
Yeah, I would even think that, like...
And people do that, right?
Even if you spent some time, or you had someone spend time, reaching out to different listings and just pitching them on your product.
Yeah.
And you can now say that you have this product in your Airbnb.
Yeah, because a lot of people who sleep with a sound machine go on vacation, and then they're like... That's one of the main use cases of my system is you sort of get addicted to sleeping with a sound machine.
You should reach out to Airbnb hosts. It could be a copy. It could be not even the top. It's a copy and paste. You literally can copy and get your pitch right. 2 sentences, 3 sentences.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
2-3 sentences with a hyperlink, and just get it out there. It's a copy and paste.
Yeah. I'm also trying mattress companies is another one. Buy a mattress and get the tech.
I mean, that's much bigger than a conversation. These are massive companies.
Yeah. So that's. If you know, anyone's listening that's a mattress company. No, I'm talking to a couple of them right now, so that could be something.
Siemens could probably use a bump in something.
Yes, a lot of them. The biggest one, SSB, Sir Simmons, went bankrupt
last year.
A year or two. Yeah.
Yeah. My buddy was it was their client, and he was at Salesforce.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then he lost it.
We were talking about it.
Yeah. One of my friends lost a lot.
Because we were talking about it, and they weren't doing well, and I was like, let's do a Sirhan. What was his company name?
SSB, Sir Simmons.
Yeah, let's do a Sir Simmons Sirhan collab, where every home you buy, you get a free mattress.
Oh, yeah.
We're giving out mattresses.
Right.
Think about that. All around, not all around the country, but in our markets, you buy this condo and you get a mattress.
Yeah.
Here's 4 to choose from.
Right.
For them, it's if someone's buying a 3-4 bedroom home, we'll give you 1 free mattress. That's $3,000, $4,000, and now because you got that, maybe you'll buy the rest. And regardless, even just
do you think it would actually increase your sales?
For them, it's not a matter of just
but
for us, any collaboration is good collaboration. Not any collaboration, but it's a collaboration where we're giving away mattresses. It's not a matter of increasing the sales. It's a matter of increasing visibility.
Yeah, you could almost get like a reporter to write about that. It's sort of innovative.
100%. It's all about the marketing. It's not about the sales. It's about the visibility.
Right.
And it's about the collaborative marketing and their following now seeing us. And vice versa. It's increasing eyeballs.
Yeah.
So like when this podcast goes on social media, you posting it, now your people who have never heard of self-starters now sees what self-starters is, and people who follow self-starters or TMB now see who Dr. Snooze is.
What's good about what you're doing is I'm all about that. And that was my hypothesis. I think that's I think it makes sense, everything that you're saying there. It's just sometimes to get the collaborators to actually execute. So I'm trying to do something like that where I'm bundling my product with the topper, with some sheets, and then let's all push each other out. Whoever sells it gets a chunk of change. Try to structure it so there's a win-win. But
the issue with stuff like that is that if it's not someone's idea themselves, it's harder for them to push it.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. What are you reading right now?
What am I reading right now? I mainly read scientific papers, honestly. So I've been reading a lot about.
It's made like a dog noise. I don't know where that came from.
Wow.
Yeah. Scientific papers.
So I've been reading. For work, I've been reading a lot about lymphatic drainage and Alzheimer's disease, which is my topic. But
Alzheimer's.
But there's some new research coming out about it. Different theories on the amyloid hypothesis versus like there's some more different theory, like why we get why we get Alzheimer's disease. The main theory for a long time was something called the amyloid clearance hypothesis, where it's like these sticky plaques that form in your brain, but it seems like that is more likely like a byproduct of some other underlying thing, and it might just be chronic inflammation is why Alzheimer's is increasing so much.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Really? Like 2%, 15%?
I know it's like going to cost by like 2050, it's going to cost like $1 trillion to the healthcare system from like 250 or something.
Which
like
is all covered by United.
A lot of it is. Yeah, right.
United Healthcare.
Oh,
You have Alzheimer's? We got you.
no, they don't.
People are like, I thought I had United.
Right.
And they're like, no, you thought you had United. You have Alzheimer's.
Right. No, yeah, it's a big problem, and my grandpa had probably not Alzheimer's. He probably had vascular dementia, which is sort of the second most common thing. But
Is that just selective giving a fuck?
no, he was 102. He was pretty gone by the time.
Wow. That's like a celebration of life.
Yeah,
Beyond.
maybe 100. Yeah, 102.
Yeah. Jew?
Yeah,
102-year-old Jew. I love that.
yeah.
Man.
My grandma made it to.
You take any, you
99.
make any videos of him before you...
Oh,
before
of course, yeah,
I'd love to see a story or two.
yeah. He was a bomber in World War II, radio operator. But there's some good stories for sure.
Love that. I always get a book recommendation from everybody. Is there any book that you've read that you would recommend for any entrepreneur to read?
Any entrepreneur? I mean, I don't like the guy much, but 0 to 1 is like probably the best entrepreneurship book. For like a true. It's one thing if you're coming in with a product that you know that works. It's another thing when you're building something new. So the building something new is Peter Thiel's thing, 0 to 1.
Noted. You know, I have it. I've never read it. You're not the first person to recommend it on the show. I'm going to have to pick it up ASAP. I have it. I just got to read it now.
Yeah.
I'll pick it up tomorrow.
There's some good concepts in there. There's another good book by Martin Babinek about business. I can't remember the name right now. I read that a while ago. I'm trying to think of the business books that I've read.
It's all right. It'll come to you and you'll text me.
Honestly, I'm not a huge reader. It's mainly just like scientific papers.
Listen, a lot of people consume in different ways.
Yeah.
Nowadays, a lot of people do podcasts.
Yeah.
A lot of people do podcasts, and even like I do a lot of audibles. So even doing an audible, a lot of times
do you know what I
don't
read
remember.
recently that I liked a lot? The Peter Attia book, Outlived.
Okay.
He has, and that's all about longevity and the healthcare system and stuff. It's not really a business book, but
No, I mean it's not a business book.
Oh, okay.
The most, it's kind of a business book, but like The Alchemist is the most commonly recommended
oh really?
book on this show.
I read that. Yeah, I can't even remember it that well right now, but I liked it.
You'd like it if you read it again.
Probably.
It's good for you to disconnect.
Yeah, I'm having flashes of it now. Yeah.
It's good. All right. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Before I let you go,
Yeah.
give me one word of advice for anyone trying to make it.
One word of advice for anyone trying to make it, I think the most important thing is perseverance, really. It's, people aren't that different in terms of intelligence, in my opinion. So I think the thing that differentiates most people is their perseverance. How really they're going to try, how much you're going to problem solve, stick to it, and try to solve the problem is the differentiating factor.
My dude.
Yeah.
Dan Gartenberg, Dr. Snooze, creating and inventing ways to make the world a better place.
Thanks for having me.